And welcome on into another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, that's Ryan, and we are ready to break down some baseball and Thursday night football. But we'll start the show as we usually do, and that's taking a look back at the current standings of the show and how things have been going. Ryan, you're killing it in best bets, 11-4. Absolutely amazing start. I'm in second there, 9-7, up 2 units. So I'm happy about that. Dog of the day is a little bit tough, but that's what happens with dogs. And then over-under kind of split there. Not much has changed, or nothing has changed in NFL. It will after tonight, but everything's the same since last week. And then everything the same is the same as with college football and other sports. So the only really thing that changed was baseball yesterday. But we have baseball and we have Thursday night football to go over today. So we'll just jump into it. And we'll get into the first game that I chose here for us to talk about. And that is the Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays. Heartbreaking loss yesterday for the Jays. Vladdy hit a 3-run homer. Things were looking good. And then Philly battled their way back. They had lost 5 in a row, so it had been a rough time for them. They battled back and were able to get the win there in extra innings. Today, you can get Toronto minus 116 to minus 126. You can get Tampa plus 100 to plus 108. 7.5s and 8s available in this one. So there's a couple things to look at here. So Tampa Bay has not been playing well. They have been on a losing streak. Almost broke it yesterday against Houston. They did have the lead there for 1 inning, but Houston came roaring back and was able to get the win. So Tampa Bay is struggling. Jays overall 21-10, I believe, on the road since the All-Star break. So I've been playing great, but Tampa Bay's been a house of horrors for them. So I won't blame anybody who wants to take Tampa Bay here at the plus money. For me, I am going to back the Jays, even with their history in Tampa Bay. They're just playing better right now than this Rays team. And Jose Barrios, maybe a month ago, if you said taking Jose Barrios on the road, I would have said maybe that's not such a good idea. But in his last 6 starts, he's allowed 2 or less runs in 5 of his last 6. So Jose Barrios has turned it around at the right time. So I'm fine with backing him even on the road here. Jays money line for me, minus 116. Ryan, what do you think here? Jays and Rays.
Yeah, ultimately, I have no play on this. I think this is a really important game, and it's because of the unique playoff situation this year, and that is that whoever wins the wild card race gets to host the wild card series. They get all 3 home games, and so this is like the catbird seat in the playoffs, and the Rays and the Jays are basically playing for that catbird seat. So this is a huge game. I don't have an opinion on who's going to win. I think I lean over just because of Barrios' weakness, and it's going to basically be a bullpen game. It was my understanding with JT Chargois starting. So this to me sets up to be an offensive game just based on that. So I lean over, but I don't have to play.
All right. We'll move on along to the second game. One of my favorite games of the night. We have the Houston Astros and the Baltimore Orioles. You can find Houston for minus 185 to minus 210. Baltimore is plus 160, plus 155 to plus 175. Sevens, 1.6.5 available in this one here. We have Verlander against Kyle Bradish. Bradish, he is 3-7 this year with a 5.05 ERA, but his stats look a little bit worse than they are recently. He's going anywhere. The 2 games against Toronto, he went 3 innings and 4 innings, gave up 3 earned runs in both games. Against Boston, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks. Got the loss there as well. So Baltimore just hasn't been playing well recently. But this Houston team is ready for the playoffs and has just been firing on all cylinders. And then we have Verlander, who came back from injury, went 5 innings and gave up. Let me get it here. Sorry. Went 5 innings, gave up no hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts in his game back from injury. You think maybe he would have started off a little bit slow from injury, but no, he just didn't give up any hits or anything. And now he's facing this Baltimore team. For me, it's Houston first 5 minus a half, which you can currently get at minus 120, minus 125, minus 130 in some spots. If you can get the minus 120, I love it. Houston is just playing so much better than this Orioles team right now. Ryan, Astros, Orioles, what do you think here?
Yeah, again, I have no play on this. It is an interesting game. The Orioles are still alive. They're making up ground, and the Mariners have issues. They've gotten some guys back from injury, but they may be sort of forcing them back in the lineup, and they've been losing to Oakland. And even though the Mariners have this real easy schedule, they seem to be slipping up a little bit, leaving the door open for the Orioles. So I agree. The Astros I wouldn't want to bet against this Astros team, but I think there's a temptation to back the Orioles here because their backs up are against the wall. The Astros are in a little bit of a travel spot here. The Astros, maybe their biggest motivation is Verlander and the Cy Young. He probably is going to win it at this stage based on his last performance coming back from the IL. But that might be the biggest motivation here is to get Verlander the Cy Young award. So I think there's a look on the Orioles here, and I lean to the under, but I'm staying off.
All right. Next up, BetStamp. Use code WILD in the referral code section. Even if you've signed up already, make sure to put code WILD in the referral code section. Help out the show. And do your line shopping. Find the best odds for whatever you are betting. You can follow me there at Let's Go Wild Picks. Line shopping, it really matters in the long term. You want to make the most money you can off whatever plays you like. Moving on along to the next game, we have the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees here in this one. You can get Boston plus 120 to plus 130. The Yankees minus 143 to minus 163. Eights, I see 8.5 available in this one. A lot of people will be taking Judge home run prop, hoping that he breaks that record in this game. But I think he's going to have a tough time here. Waka, 11-1 in the year with a 2.61 ERA, has been consistent all year long for Boston. Definitely a pitcher that I don't want to fade. And today, it's a pitcher that I backed. I'm taking Boston first 5 plus a half, which you can get right now for minus 114. I think that's a great bet. Yes, going against the Yankees isn't exactly the most exciting. I don't wake up and think, oh, I'm going to bet against the Yankees today, because that's not exactly, well, if you did it a couple weeks ago, you'd be okay, but they seem to be turning things around. I just think there's a huge pitching advantage with Waka here, so I'm backing the Boston Red Sox in the first 5, hoping they can be tied or winning after 5. I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen, if the Yankees come back and win it, kind of like they did against Pittsburgh a couple nights ago. Ryan, Red Sox, Yankees, What do you think about this one?
I have a little different angle, and I'm seeing runs here, and I cashed as a best bet that the Yankees team total over 4.5, and they've hit that total 8 of the last 9 games. The Yankees have been number 2 in over the last 2 weeks, 2 in the league in batting average, so they're white hot, and they're a real streaky team, and I want to ride this streak. And I think that not only does Judge, looking for home runs and a triple crown, but his teammates are also honed in for this. And I don't think the Red Sox pitchers want to be the guys that pitch around him. So I think he's going to get some to hit. And I'm looking to continue the streak with the Yankees. So my best bet today is on the Yankees team total over 4.5.
All right. And we'll go on along to the next one. Probably my favorite game of the night in this one here. We have the Guardians and the White Sox. You can find Cleveland minus 140 to minus 150. The White Sox plus 115 to plus 125. Sevens, 7.5 available in this one. This Guardians team, people have been saying that the White Sox have a chance. The White Sox have a chance, and I've been saying no, they don't. No, they don't. And it appears at this point that I'm right. The White Sox they are overrated, but they've had a lot of injuries. They've had a lot of injuries all season long, and there's too much ground to make up here. This was such an important series if they were going to have any chance, and they have not been able to beat this Guardians team. And now we have Bieber on the mound. So for me, it's first 5, minus a half, and full game, minus 1.5, both a plus money. I'm just going all in here on Cleveland. Smaller bets, obviously, with 2 bets on the first 5 and full game. But I like Cleveland to keep on keeping on here. Cueto actually has better numbers on the road than at home, which is a little bit surprising. Coming off a game against Oakland where he gave up 8 hits and 5 earned runs. So he'll definitely be looking to bounce back, but it's a Guardians team that's just playing well right now, and I have to back them in this spot. Ryan, Guardians, White Sox, what do you think here?
Yeah, there's no play for me on this game. It's hard to tell where these teams are right now in terms of mentality. It seems like the White Sox are done. It doesn't seem like there's any hope for them at this point. I wouldn't bet against Shane Bieber. That's just my thought. He's been reliable, and I think he continues to be reliable. I lean under here in spite of the fact that there's been all these runs in the series. I have a feeling that this is going to be a more defensive game, but I'm not getting there with the total. In the end, there's just too much uncertainty as to what we're going to get from each team, and I'm laying off as a result.
All right, nothing wrong with that. We'll go to last pitch and look at the rest of baseball. And I think most of my picks that I gave out, I'm just bringing it up here. We'll look at the other games. It's kind of low volume here with baseball at the end of the year now, especially for me. But yeah, I gave out my plays already. I was looking at Seattle with Kirby on the mound against Martinez, but Seattle seems to be floundering. Even though they have the pitching advantage and they should win this game, they should have won a few other games they've lost recently. So not backing them there. Staying off the Cardinals, I'm just frustrated with them the last couple of days. Flaherty, one of my favorite pitchers to back, but this year he just with coming off injury, he just hasn't got it right yet. And I'm not going to back him, but I'm not going to fade him either. So that'll be a pass for me. Was looking at the Brewers and Woodruff against Hunter Green and the Reds, but also passing. And that's basically it. The final game of the night, Diamondbacks and Dodgers, Gallen against Arias. I was just completely bet out of that game. I'm not taking a first 5 under 3.5 because I don't like the number 3.5 and a first 5. I don't want to back the Dodgers even with Arias on the mound because of Gallen, but I don't want to back Gallen either. So I'm stuck in that game. I'm just not going to get involved because there's nothing for me really to get involved in. So that one's ultimately a pass. Ryan, any of the other games that you're interested in or want to talk about?
Sure. I'll mention about three other plays and talk about some leans too. One angle that I've been looking at is unders, and there's been a distinct trend for unders this time of year. So basically, starting Saturday was 11-5 to the under, and then Sunday 8-7 to the under. Mondays there was more over. It was 6-3, but then Tuesday and Wednesday were 10-5 and 9-5 to unders. So there's been a distinct trend to the unders in the league. And also today we're going to see something we haven't seen in baseball in several months, and that's some cooler temperatures. So a lot of these Midwest games are going to be in the 50s, and also places like New York and Philadelphia are going to be colder weather. So I'm looking for some under angles, and I saw two games that I like with unders. One is Cincinnati and Milwaukee as under 7.5. I thought there was strength in both pitching matchups, and especially Cincinnati has been involved in a ton of unders. And the other game I'm looking at is Philadelphia Atlanta under 7.5. Again, a strong pitching matchup, and again, one team has been involved in a ton of unders, and that's Atlanta. So I'm going to go under the 7.5 total in that game as well. Since you mentioned the San Diego game, I do see an advantage here. I'm going to take San Diego first 5 run line in this game, and I think there's a pitching advantage against Jack Flaherty, and also the Cardinals can't buy a run right now. So as long as they're not contributing, I think there's a good spot here for the Padres, who are all of a sudden hot. One last thing I want to mention is that this game that just started, this Giants-Rockies game, I'm intrigued by this because there's nothing on the line, but there's some unique things that are going on. The Giants are going back to a bullpen game for the second time in 4 days, which is unusual. I don't know if this ever happens, and it's because they don't have the personnel. And the Rockies bullpen is in such poor shape. Like, they've been sitting guys with ERAs north of 10. Like, their bullpen is in complete disarray. So I'm not confident enough to play the over because both teams have been hitting a lot of unders, but I'm looking for a live bet on situation. And especially if the Giants show some weakness in their bullpen, if they struggle, I'm looking for a live over in that game. And those are my plays for today.
All right. Yeah, you definitely have been on the ball with the Giants and Rockies games. So wish you best of luck there. I can't get. I've been trying to stay off, especially early games too. I've been trying to stay off myself, but having better luck with later games for some reason. It is what it is. But we'll look at Thursday night football here. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. You can find Pittsburgh plus 170 to plus 180, Cleveland minus 190 to minus 225, minus 4 for Cleveland, mostly across the board, a couple plus 4.5s as well. 38.5 on one spot, the rest is 38 and 37.5. These lines have been moving. I got Pittsburgh plus 4.5 and the under 38.5. Still available at a couple spots, but it's mostly 38 now and minus 4s. Primetime unders have been cashing this year. Nick's been on them. Stefanski has 7-0 towards the under against the Steelers since he became coach of the Browns. There's a few more stats that I don't have on the top of hand, but everything points to the under in this one. And I don't like either offense on this on either of these teams. And the Browns, I can't believe they blew that game to the Jets. Well, I can believe they blew that game to the Jets, but it's just classic Browns to blow that game like that. And here they are, minus 4 favorites. Give me Pittsburgh plus 4.5, and give me the under 38.5. I think we get something like maybe 17 to 14 for Pittsburgh. Maybe Cleveland gets the win. I'm not going with the Pittsburgh money line. I'll just take the plus 4.5 points. I'd still take it at 4 as well. Anything really over that 3.5. Ryan, Steelers, Browns, any thoughts in Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, my play is laying the 4 points with the Browns. I'm not thrilled about the 4 points aspect, but I think there's a distinct advantage for the Browns here, and that is the offensive line of the Browns against the defensive line of the Steelers. And the Steelers, one, they're missing T.J. Watt, and also they filled in some position players through free agency, so there's just more question marks on the D line. And the Browns have a strong O line, and I think they're really strong at running back with Chubb and Hunt. So I think the Browns are going to find success on the ground, and enough that I'm going to lay the 4 points here. The Steelers have a good defense, and they have a great secondary, and they've got some good players like Cameron Hayward, and there's just a lot of good players. But I don't think the D line of the Steelers is the strength of their defense.
All right. We will move on along to the best bet segment here, and we'll start with over/under, as we usually do. And for me, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, under 38.5. Nick is also going with the same thing. Tim is going to college football, taking Chattanooga and Illinois under 45. Dave is going with Arizona and the Dodgers, first 5 under 3.5. Ryan, is there a total that you like today?
Yeah, I'm going to take the under in Cincinnati, Milwaukee, and I'm on BetStamp now looking for it. Yeah, it's 7.5, so under 7.5.
All right, and the odds, let's see. Minus 102. Right. And then going on to dog of the day. For me, I am on the Steelers plus the points, and I am on Boston first 5 plus a half, but I'm not taking either money line, so I'm not going to give out the money line for either of those. So no dog for me today. Nick is going Philadelphia Phillies first 5. Tim is going Philadelphia Phillies full game. Dave is going Arizona Diamondbacks first 5. Ryan, is there a dog that you like today?
There's some I like, but none I'm playing, so I don't have an official play. I think the Cubs probably win. I agree with the Diamondbacks, Dave's Diamondbacks pick, and I think the Orioles have a chance to win today, but I'm laying off. None are plays for me.
All right. And then going on to best bets. For me, Houston first 5 minus a half here. I like them. I like Verlander here in this spot. Well, pretty much like Verlander any day of the week, but I do like them in this spot. Nick is going with Brewers minus 1.5 plus 105. Tim is going to the Blue Jays money line minus 114. Dave is going to college football, taking Coastal Carolina minus 2. And Ryan, you said it was Yankees team total over 4.5, right?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, and the best odds for that is currently plus 102. So that is today's show. A little bit of a shorter show, but nothing wrong with that. We'll be doing the hockey show in about half hour here, going over the Winnipeg Jets. There was a couple of scheduling changes, so make sure to check the YouTube channel for all of those. We will be going over the St. Louis Blues tomorrow, finishing up with Central Division, and then we'll have 8 more videos coming for the Atlantic Division, finishing off with them. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash the like button. We appreciate all the support, and we'll see you again for other episodes. Getting Well with Terry and Friends. Best of luck in your bets tonight, guys. Have a good one.